Efrain Juarez signed for Celtic in 2010 and he only really had one full season at the club, but his time in Scotland made a big impression on the Mexican. He's now working in Colombia as manager of Athletic Nacional, but he's manager of a certain Alfredo Morelos. We speak with Efrain in an exclusive interview for Sunsport. Well, thank you for joining us today, Efrain. It's fantastic to see you again. I understand it's a very busy time for you. You have a couple of big matches coming up, 2 cup finals.
Yes, it's a pleasure also have a talk with you. Yeah, special next 2 weeks because we are in the cup final and also in the league final. So it's 2 weeks really busy, but at the same time with a lot of expectations and hopefully everything goes well to carry 2 trophies in 2 weeks.
You're obviously a man who's been in football for a long time, but the fact that you seem to have taken things very comfortably into management, 2 cup finals in your first season, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I've been preparing myself in the last 5-6 years to have this opportunity, to have this kind of chance in a big club in South America. Atlético Nacional is one of the biggest clubs. It's top 5 in South America. They won the Libertadores 2 times. And when the chance or the opportunity came to be a manager, I don't think about. It was a huge opportunity for my first step, and I have already been 4 months in the charge, and then being the 2 finals in the cup and the league doesn't happen in the club in the last 25 years. So. And they never been in the 2 finals in 2 weeks, because normally the cup final is in, for example, beginning of November, and then the league cup is in the middle of December. So for the schedule of the league, we need to play the 2 finals in 2 weeks. So I'm really comfortable. I'm really happy because. After I finished my career as a football player, I always want to be involved in football, in the staff, and in the coaching. And now my first experience with 36 years is unbelievable, because really I compare this club with Celtic because the time or the amount of pressure that you have every single morning. You don't need to. You are not just a football manager or a coach. You know, you are more than that. You are a guy that need to deal with different kind of deal. This club has 20 million of fans in the country and outside the country. We go to US in the 2-3 months ago, and we full stadiums that normally normal teams don't fill it. So fantastic opportunity. I always wait for that, for this kind of opportunity, and now is the moment, because it's not just being the finals. You need to win it to make a story.
It strikes me, as you mentioned, that it's a huge club, but that must bring its own pressures, Efrain.
In the way that it's been a really chaotic 3 months, because 3-4 months, because just from the beginning when I arrived here, I need to deal with some situation within discipline straight away in my 3-4 days after I arrived, and then from them we came with a massive different kind of things that we need to deal. We have a situation in our own stadium in a game that we've been suspending our stadium from 6 games. So we play 6 games without our supporters, without our fans. Then we need to deal with a situation also with another player, a big player that we have with a different situation. So it's not just football manager, you know. In the way for me was experience to everything. I need to deal outside the pitch. I need to deal inside the pitch. I need to deal with the press in the way that never expect that at 36 years old, without experience, to be a manager, always as assistant, took a kind of this kind of situation. So the experience is unbelievable. If I'm honest, you know, I never expect that kind of situations. But now, if I'm honest, I make it a master, if I can say that, in the coaching in 4 months, because it's not stoppable, you know. And at the end, in South America, the football is a religion. You know, the supporters, they live for the clubs. You know, unfortunately, I'm talking unfortunately because I'm coming from Mexico. That is kind of the same as South America, even if we are not North America. But we came from, I'm coming from a country that you don't have another escape in your life than football, and it's the same in South America. So it's more than football. It's passion, because if you lose a game, the people during the week or during that week is a sad week. But if you are winning that kind of situations, you change lives in the good way. So that responsibility, you need to take it really seriously, because it's not just, oh, we need to go again. They need to understand, or we need to understand what we are playing for. And that situation for me is huge, because it makes you more aware of what are you doing.
Talk to me, Efrain, about the 3-year suspension you got hit with. I think you're trying to sort it out, but I read about some wild celebrations after you won the Copa Colombia. Tell me about that. A 3-year suspension from stadiums. Wow.
Yes, I'm a guy that understands the football and the life 100% every day. I don't think too much in the next day, because the life, we don't know what is going to happen next day. And I also, football for me changed my life in everything, since I'm coming from Mexico. That is a country with 120 million people, and I'm the guy that I made the dream to play football, to represent my country in a World Cup and that kind of situation. So football for me changed life. So the football gave me too much, the only thing that I have is give it back what I have. So in that situation, when I score a goal, when my team score a goal, when my team do something good, even if it's not, I feel it, or I live it in that way. So I celebrate every single goal like, what's a cup final. Why? Because I don't understand another thing. It's my passion, it's my life, is how I understand everything. Because to make a goal or to create a goal, you need to happen many situations in the game to happen that situation. So when you score a goal, it's something like, wow, the play or the way or some situation. So I explode every single time, but I don't do it in purpose. I don't do it to push someone or another thing. But of course, in that game, in that situations, when also you are a foreigner in a country that is so passionate in football, sometimes they look at it in a different way. And I celebrate that how I always been celebrating. But the situation was in a semi-final in a derby, and we were playing away, and of course we eliminated this club in the other team from the cup and also from the league 1 week after. So they have some situation, and I was in the press conference, and suddenly the police came for me to say that I need to go to take a statement, because I was provoking violence. Because in the way I celebrate, they think the stadium can be something different or tough, and they say that I was provoking violence, and it couldn't finish in an accident. So I made my statement, and of course this is not football, because it's not about the federation or about the league. It was more about a police situation. So I made my statement, and then 2-3 days after, some girl from the police station dictate that I was suspended for 3 years, or banned from 3 years in any stadium in the country. And of course, that situation escalated to another level, because the mayor of Medellin, of the city, said, this is horrendous. No, it's also even bad looking for Colombia, for Medellin, that kind of situation, just for celebrate. And that situation escalated to every single situation, because at the end, I was putting the TV, put it on the TV, and sometimes it was like talking about in TV shows that they talk about politics, they were talking about me, because
Wow.
so it was so strange. But at the end, of course, the club appealed, and that situation doesn't go through, because it doesn't make sense. But of course, the situation also with the league, I've been suspended. Now, unfortunately, I'm not in the cup final in the first game, because I'm suspended for that situation. So I'm not gonna be in the bench. But anyways, it's part of football. I'm never gonna stop what I've been doing, because I never do it in a purpose, or I never doing some for create something or for provocate the opposition, because that is not my type. I never been involved in that kind of situations. I'm a guy that live the football how I live my life. On the age, there's no limit, and it's how I understand. And that situation is also going to change who I am or what I feel. So it's part of another experience that I forgot to say. So it been amazing experience that I've been instead of be victim, because also it's easy to say, oh, poor of me, I'm foreigner, I'm Mexican, everybody wants me. It makes me more putting more fire inside me for my team, for my club, because they believe on me, my players believe on me. So the responsibility that I have, the supporters believe on me. So the only responsibility to have is give everything back. And doesn't matter. I don't want to stop to doing what I love to do.
We've all seen some documentaries and some footage of the city of Medellin in Colombia, where you are, and it does seem like a very tough city. Do you not have to be careful, Efrain, with your behaviour in big derby games? You're maybe taking your life in your own hands.
Yeah, of course, it's a country that doesn't have there's many stories around this situation, and more in this city in Medellin. But it's my second time I've been in Colombia. I've been 10, 12 years ago in here in Colombia, because we have a friendly game in Bogota, that is the capital of the country. And now I've never been in Medellin. But everything that they say is total lie, because no lie. It happened in their moment, but now it's totally different. It's a city that is really cosmopolitan, because it's a unbelievable city full of mountains, amazing people. I cannot say anything wrong about total opposite. The Colombian people is a charm people, it's a warm people, And of course, like in every single big cities, because it's a big cities, if I'm not wrong, it's around 5-6 million lives are in Medellin. So it's a massive city. And in that kind of stuff, also always is normal, that happens sometimes, weird situations in that kind of stuff. But in that way, that situation or that kind of things that we know, it happened years ago, and now I feel safe, because also we are in a club that really protect you in every single situation. So I have some threats, of course, in social media. That is normal, but I take it like that. It's social media. And of course, when I just commented this situation, they said to me that, come on, that never happened, and it's never going to happen, because you are not doing anything wrong. And even if you do something wrong, the situation in here is not like jungle. We are a normal city. And that, of course, and I see it, is not so far from Mexico. Mexico is a city. I come from Mexico City. That is a city that is also tough, and it's not different that the big cities like Glasgow, that they live so passionate that I have when I was in Celtic, the situation with Neil. You remember that in that time.
Yeah.
So it happened all around the world, but doesn't go to the next level, because at the end it's football, and we need to understand and separate these kind of situations.
I'll come to your time at Celtic in a minute, Efrain, but you mentioned the people of Colombia. Talk to me about Alfredo Morelos. Obviously, a controversial figure in Scotland when he was at Rangers, scored a lot of goals, though. What's it been like managing him?
It's amazing question, because I never had a chance to play against or know him in my time when I was in Celtic, because he came after. But the reality, when I was watching him, he was the top scorer and top player in the league, And always in the way that the people talk about him, it looks like he always was a difficult player to deal with. When I came here, first, for understand, I don't manage football players. I manage people that play football. So the first time that I came here, I sit with him, and I seen in his eyes a guy that is a really good guy. He's a good person, good heart. When we start to talk about family, his time in Glasgow, in the city, we have to start to talk in different kind of same things, where he was living, where I was living. We were living in the same area in the West End. You go and you start to see the person, and physically is a tough guy. It's a tough guy, like never smile. But when I see, I met it in my office in the first time, in the first day, and when you see his smile, his size, in the way that he talks to you, you see an unbelievable person. Of course, after never is perfect, or nobody's perfect in the world. He has his things exactly like me, exactly like you, exactly like everyone that is listening us or watching us. But I believe on him. So we make a deal, we have amazing conversation. We make a deal that I'm gonna give it everything for me that is possible. And the only thing that I expect for him, 100%. And instead from there, is a guy that is one of my leaders. He's a guy that we have unbelievable relationship. We were joking. He comes to me. He pushed me because he's a big boy, And in the trainings, he's like, "Oh, sorry," And I'm like, And we talk about family. We talk about life, and at the end, all his. In the way that he came here when I talked to my first conversation with him, he said to me, "Gafa, the only thing that I come back to Colombia is because I want to enjoy football, and until now I'm not enjoying for different situations." And I say, "I promise that is one of the deals that we make. I promise that I'm gonna do everything is possible or is in my hands that you come back to that situation." And now he's enjoying the guy. It's Alfredo that in his prime in Rangers, pushing, pressing high, keeping the ball, scoring goals, fighting for. I have unbelievable videos from him that in transition, in the transition, is running backwards to the goal when normally it doesn't happen. For Alfredo Morelos is coming from big clubs, and doesn't really his past or his moment in Brazil after Rangers doesn't enjoy, and he wants to come back to enjoy. He wants to come back home to enjoy. And at the end, for me, it was or had been important part of my core in the team, and I trust 100% on him. And now he's a guy that he need to make his power in possibility and reality in this kind of games, and I don't have any doubt that he's gonna do it.
We saw some pictures recently, Efrain, the car crash that he was involved in with the motorcycle cyclist. Was that a difficult situation to try and deal with and help him through?
Yes, because I'm gonna explain you how is it, but in the way to go to the facility, to the training ground, it's a street or highway that is one way to another, So it's not two lines, it's just one way to another. And unfortunately, because it's difficult to drive in this kind of cities because everybody's in a rush and it's a big cities, always happens something in these lines, always happens something in this highway because it's full of motorcycles, it's full of people that want to go step of the traffic on that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, he has that situation, and I was already in the training ground in that time, on that day, and the first person that he called was me. So I was preparing some meeting, I don't remember, and I couldn't take the phone call. So after 10-20 minutes for the first call, he called me. I remember perfectly. He called me 2 times, but my phone was on silence because I was preparing a video and meeting. I remember, I think it was a match plan because we have a game the next day. So I was so focused on prepare everything. And after 20 minutes came another player saying that he passed through that accident and Alfredo Morelos is in that way. So the first thing to take is take my phone, call to the president, call to the club, and I say, someone need to go straight away to there. I send my assistant also, like go, take the car and go and see what is happening. And from them, they are making big stories, about how was the crash and how was the situation. It was a simple accident that he was in his line and the motorcycle tried to go away from another car and they crashed. And thank God the guy in the motorcycle is still alive, because otherwise will be a really catastrophe for the guy, but also for Alfredo in that way. Now he need to, of course, the situation goes as always, because that situation need to, with the police, need to go through until they find what is the solution. But I am so positive that it's gonna be everything good. And what I understand is supporting the guy of the motorcycle in everything to go through that situation. But of course, it's one of another situations that you need to deal in the middle of the season. You know that your number 9, your main striker, is involved in that situation. You cannot use it. I don't use it in 4 or 5 games. And but we have conversations. Always we have a talks. I believe in him that everything was right. We have the footage of the situation, and you see clearly that it's accident. It's not making on purpose. It's an accident that happened in many situations in that highway. So now everything is good. I think he need to go to talk with the police to make a statement as a normal situation. But until I understand, everything is gonna be good. And now I'm calm with him in every single situation.
It strikes me, Efrain, you have a very good relationship with Alfredo. Do you think the fact that you have a connection, that you both lived in Glasgow, obviously one side of the city and another side of the city in terms of the clubs, but do you think that connection that you have helps you now?
Yes, a lot, because he's a guy that doesn't open so much straight away. Everybody's different, and he's a guy that doesn't open so much. When we started the first conversation, one of the things that I asked him is, how was your life in Glasgow? And he knew that I was playing for Celtic. And he say, he was like, oh, really good. So my first question was about how was his time in Glasgow. Of course, he's open everything, because I'm talking about the person. He told me about the situation that he has with his car. He was driving a big car. I don't know if you guys remember, for sure you remember, he was driving a big car. So he told me the story why he need to sell the car. It was a big car with a shiny color. So I said, I may always make jokes. How do you think is what do you have in mind? What do you have in the mind that time, my friend? You are driving a big car in a shiny color in Glasgow. It's not like it's 100,000 of cars like this. Of course, they knew that it was you. But of course, because you are Alfredo Morelos, you always want to make attention, So I always made that kind of joke. He told me why he sell it, that kind of situation. And of course, in that times, we have already been, since I've been here, I think it's 1 or 2 derbies that all friends that the Celtic and Rangers play already. And always we were like, we're gonna kill you. And it's like, no chance, And always it's like, oh, you guys been lucky. Oh, the referee always complain, because of course Celtics always win. So, so I always push it. When now we were in Champions League and they were in Europa League, I was pushing like, yeah, you play always Thursday. We play Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The big club plays Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So well, we made that kind of jokes, and he get crazy because he has a big part of his heart is, of course, for Rangers. But in that situation, we talk about how big that game's been. He played. I played that. It was the last year when I've been there. The last year of Rangers have been in first division after that situation that happened. So I remember my first season. You remember that we played, I don't remember, 7 or 8 old firms in 1 year, because it was the cup, the league, the reply, the cup. So it was unbelievable many of games of old firms, and I have the chance to be there. I have the chance to play. So also him. So we were really talking. We talk a lot about the Scottish football, the SPL. We talk about the Rangers. We talk about Celtic. He always asks me. I always ask him, because at the end, it's part of this situation. But that connection that he has with the club, and also the connection I have with Celtic, in somehow, because I don't understand, in somehow create or make us create a big relationship. Exactly that happened now in almost all the houses in Glasgow, that you have half of your family, or sometimes blue, and then you have half of your family in green, that we need to understand that that's, again, it's still a football, that everybody loves their clubs, their teams, but doesn't need to go through more than that, you know. At the end, unbelievable clubs, but of course, that passion also that he lives in there in Glasgow, around that the clubs, is compared, what I see it is compared with South America, if I'm honest, because I have the chance to be in Spain, to play in Spain. I have the chance to play in Norway. I have the chance to manage to coach in Belgium. And I don't say that in there is no passion. Of course it is a lot, but Glasgow, Celtic, Rangers is closer to South America, where I always explain what kind of situations happen in South America every single day.
Tell me about it, Efrain, because I think you joined Celtic in 2010. Neil Lennon signed you, I think, for around £2 million. But you only played really one season. Things maybe didn't work out for you as you hoped. How do you reflect on your time at Celtic when you look back?
Oh, it's one of the best experience that I have in my life, not also in football, also in life. You know, he made me grow a lot. And I explain you why, because I came from the World Cup 2010, 21, 22 years old. I was already starting in a World Cup. I've been champion in my country with my club in that time. I was a big star in Mexico with 22 years old. You know, it's not easy, it's not simple to, in a country that is full of footballers, be a starter in a World Cup with 22. And I had after the chance to go, the opportunity to go to Celtic. And if you remember, my beginning was unbelievable.
Yeah.
When I say unbelievable, because I started to score goals when I never score goals. Suddenly I started to score goals in Celtic Park. So, you know, and I remember that we went to the Emirates Cup, Milan, Arsenal, Lyon, Olympique de Lyon, and they invited us. And also that 2 games I played really, really good. After that, in qualification for Champions League, I scored goals. After that, we didn't make through. We didn't go through to the next step in Champions League. So we play Europa League qualification. I scored goal in the next week.
Yeah.
It was like the beginning was like so top, and it's when I need to be honest, and it's part of the experience of life that I start to lose. I start to stand up in a brick. If you understand what I say, because I go out in Celtic, I resort in Glasgow, and the people, even if I've been in Mexico, big star, and I go out and pictures and that kind of stuff, when you go to another country, you start to stand up in a brick. And it's a thing that I need to accept, you know. And I start to think in another things that the most important, that is go 100%, train 100%, do everything that you have, be 100%. If it's 10 minutes, they give you 10 minutes in the game. If it's 90 minutes, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And when you are young, you don't reflect. Oh no, the manager doesn't want me. Oh no, they are against me. Oh no, they are jealous. You start to thinking stupid things. That the most important is, my friend, you are not doing your job anymore. So was the first 6 months I say was really good. After that, I start to lose my way until I finish the season, and I don't even at the end of the games, at the end of the games, or the season of the games, I was not even in the squads. So I need to make a change. So I went to Spain on loan to Zaragoza, to La Liga. You know, on my mind that time was like, okay, I need to change the air. I need to go to start, have a new start. And what's worse, because I went to La Liga, and in my mind was like, okay, because I was blaming everyone in that time. I was blaming the weather, the manager, the club, blah, 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 blah. So I said, in my mind was like, oh, I just need to change the air, and I go to Spain, and I speak the language perfectly. You know, I know the country because I already been in Barcelona with La Masia. So, and that doesn't happen. You know, when you are not prepared, when you are not ready, when you don't go 100%, worse. Because I went there, I was not prepared. I was not physical good. I was not ready to make that big step in La Liga, one of the best leagues in the world. Bam, kill me. And after that, need to happen that kind of situations, lose opportunity or chances in your life to be in the best club or one of the best clubs in the world, that is Celtic, to go to the one of the best league in the league in the world. Do you realize that it's not everyone? You don't need to blame the world. It's me, started from myself. And that thing, I'm not talking only about football. It changed my life in a good way, because I need to go from the bottom to rebuild myself, to say, my friend, you start from the beginning. It's not, you don't put the tuxedo first, my friend. First the hardworking suit, and start from the beginning. What did make you bring you here? And that, now when I talk about that situation that happened now as a manager in my life, because and now for me it's easy to say I'm the best manager in Colombia. Oh my gosh, no, that situation already happened or lived for me 14, 13 years ago. And I say, I promise to myself, I'm never gonna happen that situation. 100% every single day, hardworking, never believe, because when you are the best or when you are winning, you are not the best. And when you are losing or you are on the bottom, you are not the worst one, even as a football player, even as a manager. You always need to be in between, in the middle. And now I have 2 kids, and the only thing that I want to teach them is that just do everything 100% just for today, because we don't know what is going to happen. So if you're going to train, you're going to train 100%. For this, I don't listen to my phones, or I don't put inside my phone. When I have time with my family, 100%. I cannot just think in my work, be with my family, because I'm being 50-50. So that situation, that years that I've been in Celtic, helped me for the rest of my life. And it's unbelievable, my family now, they are living in Spain, in Barcelona, and I have 2 kids, 8 years old and 6 years old. And I only see them for FaceTime 3 or 4 minutes a day, but because when they are sleeping, I'm awake or I'm working, and when I'm sleeping, they are in their normal life. So that 3-4 minutes that I have talking with them, the only thing that I have is looking in their eyes, to say, in all the sacrifice that we are doing, living far away, I need to make it work, because it will be really sad for me to don't give my 100% here and talk with them. So what I'm doing here. So that kind of things helped me a lot, Celtic, because if you never had that kind of experience, maybe I still live in or stand still in a brick, and you never, until you have these big things in your face, or big punches in your face, you never realize. Thank God, thank Celtic, that made me live or made me realize that situation, that I can say for that situations, and I'm who I am as a person. Then as a manager, I can be good, I can be bad, whatever. It's part of life, it's part of football. But as a person, I can say that I can look in the eyes to everyone, because I give it 100% in everything or in every single time to what I'm doing in that time.
It's a great way to think about things, Efrain. But I'm just imagining you as thinking back to your early 20s in Glasgow. What were your favourite nightclubs?
I was in church all the time.
It sounds like it. It sounds like
No,
it.
We have a young squad in that time, and majority of us we were singles. So of course we enjoy the nights also, and also it's one of the parts of the. I also I'm grateful with Celtic, because of course you need to have that experience. And yeah, in that time I remember was a nightclub that they call Carbon. I don't know if it exists, and I don't know if it's still there. And was a club in the Corinthian club that was the casino, and it's in the city center. I think it's still working, or I don't know. I think it's still open.
So you had a good time then?
I have a good time. I have a good time. And for this is one of the reasons that Glasgow made me grow a lot because also it's a city that, as I said to you in the beginning, has a charm. Glasgow has something special, because we need to be honest, it's not the most beautiful city in the world. If we need to be honest, it's an industrial city, but has something special, that they hug you and also let you go in everything. the weather is not the best one, but looks like it's warm or it's hot, you know, because the people, the city is not so big cities. Everything's concentrated in city center. So it's a city that has a life. It's a city that every single day is alive because also for the university, for all the students, but not only for that, for everything. And, you know, for example, Edinburgh is beautiful city with the castle, that kind of stuff, but doesn't have what has Glasgow. Glasgow is, my gosh, you know. And as I said to you in the beginning, Celtic helped me a lot. The city helped me a lot to grow in every single situation, and grateful with Celtic, because if I never will sign for Celtic, I never will have made my wife. I met my wife in there, so I have a family because I've been there. So I will never have that step. I never will have never make that deal. Maybe I will have still single. But no. In every single situation, I'm still in love. Unfortunately, I couldn't come back since I left because for different situations, I couldn't come back. But let's hope soon go back to, because I have many good friends in there that I left in there, not only football, not only in Celtic, also outside the pitch, outside the club. I have made really good friends.
No one knows what the future is going to hold, Efrain, but and I know you're doing really well in Colombia where you're managing now, but one day in the future, could you come back to Scotland to be a manager here? Is that something that's maybe a possibility?
Oh, it will be a dream. It will be a dream. And of course, I'm not gonna say the club for respect of the people that is already there. You know, it's is the. I always say when the people say things that and it's a people that is working there, and I always see many interviews that, oh, my dream will be in that club. And I would say I'm never gonna do that because it's unrespectful. But I'm not gonna say the club that will be my dream to manage in the future for respect of the people that is already there. But for me, it will be a dream. You know, the reality is it will be it's a dream, and I'm a dreamer because after coming for a country 120 million and you realize your dream, I believe in dreams and believe that the dreams can make possible. And I need to. I know that I need to work hard and step by step. You know, all my focus now is in Atlético Nacional. I'm grateful because they gave me the first chance to make my step from assistant to manager. That is not easy, not in South America, not with 36 years old. And we'll see what happens in the future. But of course, in my mind, is always that possibility that in some point, in somehow, the life, the football, God put me in that way, and it will be, oh, even I have goosebumps in my skin to just think about.
Well, Brendan Rodgers can't keep going on forever, you know, Efrain.
But there's many good managers around outside, but he's doing an amazing job. I don't have the chance to. I never have the chance to meet him, but he's a massive manager with a lot of experience, and he put the team in the next level. I have the chance to work with Ronny Deila.
Yeah, he told you all about it.
Yeah, we talk about the same things, you know. It's not every one dinner that we have that we don't talk about Celtic. I promise. We talk in some different things. Oh, when I was in Celtic, or he say when I was in Celtic is, and of course he has amazing love for the club. Also, he was the first opportunity or chance to go abroad for his country, and Celtic gave it to them. And he said, and we always say that this is more than a club. When you go there, I remember when my first day or second day in Celtic, when I had my press conference, when the club presented to the media, walking to Celtic Park, of course it was fans, you know, and you see that is one girl that said to me, "Hey, my friend, this is not a club. This is in the blood, on the blood," and they have tattoos of Celtic, and they say, it's crazy. They say for Celtic, I'm alive because my grandfather they ate for Celtic, and I have a green and white on my blood. The first thing that I hear from a supporter. Oh my gosh. So that kind of situation we talk, Ronny give me the chance to be part of his staff as assistant. I learned a lot from him, a lot in the style of play, management, everything, because he's a really great manager. And thinking in the future, of course, it will be amazing. No, amazing. It will be a dream to have just at least the chance to be part of Celtic again. So amazing experience. Everything's connect. Celtic, Ronny, I played for them, and it was really destiny. I believe in destiny. How I met him was really like out of the blue, if I'm honest. We were in December I was playing that time in MLS, and MLS after December is finished, and the season starts normally in February and that kind of stuff. You have a big time holidays in that time, in winter time, and we met in a shopping center in Cancun. And I was like, oh my gosh, his face looked familiar for me, and he's looking at me and he's like, and somehow he know me. So I say, are you are the manager? You are the Celtic manager? And he looked at me like, yes. And I say, I play for Celtic. And in that time, I have long hair. And after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of holidays, I was a little bit chubby, and he was in a short and a t-shirt. And he looked at me like, no, you've never been a football player, my friend, I know that he didn't say to me, but he looked at me so awkward. And I was like, and he's like, oh, good. I say, I'm Efrain Juarez. And I say, where are you coming from? I say, Mexico. I say, I heard something about one Mexican play for Celtic. I say, yeah, I'm the only one that a Mexican played for Celtic. I say, oh, yes. I say, and at that time he was on Vålerenga after Celtic. He came back to Norway. And we started to talk, we started to have a conversation. After 2 months, I was playing for him in Norway. And suddenly, 1 year after, I was his assistant in New York City. We've been champions in New York. We went to Belgium, Standard Liège together. We went to Bruges together. And now, after 5 years, been together, 5 years and a half together, one as a player and the other 4 years and a half, almost 5, working together as a assistant and as a manager. We left Bruges, and it was a time to waiting for a job, for him and also for me. And we have a talk 2-3 days ago. We still have a conversation more than my boss in that time when I worked for him. He's my friend. He's a brother. We share many good memories, very bad moments, and it's family for me. Ronny's family for me. And I always gonna be grateful all my life because he gave me the chance to learn from him, to give me the chance to a Mexican go to a New York City with a Norwegian as assistant. Those is not often, Normally the Norwegians bring Norwegians, they are Argentinians take Argentinians with them. It's normal. A Norwegian take a Mexican as assistant in MLS. Wow. So we were talking about that, and then when we split, because he went to Abu Dhabi, and in that time I had the chance in another club in Europe to be a manager because I was one of the 2 candidates in that time, and for different reasons I didn't get the job. I think was the moment for me to make the step. That it was really painful for both. We cried. I remember we were in Barcelona together, and I say, Rafa, I think it's the time to split. And we were crying a lot at 12 in the afternoon, having a coffee. And he said, no, it was like, oh, we need to wait, that kind of stuff. And I said, I think if I'm not going to be 100% with you, exactly what I'm talking about, it's not worth it for you, it's not worth it for me. So, and it's like, but in that time, I don't have anything. I was like, we'll see what is going to happen. Maybe the life of football doesn't give me any opportunity or chance, and maybe it's still employed now, you know. So I know that something is going to pop up, and he's happy in Abu Dhabi. He's enjoying enjoying football. We came from 5 years that have been a lot of pressure and stress for him, for me in somehow. And now I think what I see him happy. I see a guy that enjoyed a lot football and enjoying a lot being the pitch, training the team. And for my part also, I think we changed roles, you know, because now the big pressure that he used to be, now understanding Abu Dhabi is different. It's not the big situations, but he's happy now. And from my side, I changed to be assistant, that you don't have the big pressure because you are not the main character, to be the main character now. And sometimes we judge, or I was not judging, but I was like, oh, why you don't do this, Gafa, you know, and why you don't take that situation that way? But it's easy to talk because you are not in their shoes. I was not in their shoes. Now when I am in their shoes, I'm the main character, I'm the manager with a massive responsibility, because be a football player is not only in the pitch. That will be the easy. I always say, I have conversations with my wife, and I always say, she normally she call me when she's going to sleep at 10 p.m. in Europe time, and it's for me 2 or 3 in the afternoon in Colombia, Colombia, and it's like, how was your day? I say, no, my day is just going to start now, because the training is the most beautiful thing. The pitch is the most beautiful thing. No. The big job is after that. So now it's going to start my day. And yes, you need to deal with meetings, with people, with players, with the sports director, with the president, with the press, with the marketing. Now it's a global, it's an integral job. Just it's not only the pitch. And that kind of stuff, he was telling me all the time, Ronny, because I was like, oh, sometimes I don't see you enjoying the pitch, you know, and it's like, because you don't have time. Sometimes you are thinking in who's the players you're going to sign, what is it, in many things that are involved about the game, about the football, but not really in the pitch, because you only have 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, if it's a at max, because you never have 1 hour and a half on the pitch with the player. And what do you do the rest of the time? Preparing the team, dealing with this kind of stuff. So now when I'm in that situation, I was like, wow, it's easy to talk, you know, and now it's easy to talk because you don't have all that kind of situations on your mind. And these kind of things, in the way that he managed that kind of situations, and I learned a lot from him. And he's first fantastic human being, and it's unbelievable. I can say that he's unbelievable manager, because he's smart. He has the knowledge in the way of the style of play, manage people. He's really intelligent guy, and I always say, and I always wish when I talk with him, you deserve the best, because you are first an amazing human being, and after amazing professional.
Well, you're doing quite a good job yourself, Efrain. It's been fantastic to speak with you today, and we wish you all the best for the weekend. Thank you so much. It's for me, have an opportunity to talk with you, with the people from Glasgow. Oh my gosh, it's always a pleasure. It's a home for me, even if I don't be there. But thank you for this opportunity, and let's go. We'll see what happens in the future. Maybe see you in the future. Thanks, Efrain. Take care.